Why Shakespeare? Why is it that we still learn about plays that were being performed in London over 400 years ago? I'm sure we've all seen many different adaptations of Shakespeare's plays, from Romeo and Juliet
You say? They both die? What kind of an ending is that?
to She's the Man, which, fun fact, is an homage to my personal favorite play, Twelfth Night.
Be not afraid of greatness. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them.
But other than fun movie adaptations, why should students actually participate in learning Shakespeare? Why is the teaching of Shakespeare and his plays important to a high school student's education in relation to their reading and writing skills? I did not join the Shakespeare Club out of my own free will.
Pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever!
Even though I originally didn't want to be there, I found myself drawn to this world of magic, betrayal, and sword fighting. I joined my school's Shakespeare Club and helped run our annual Shakespeare Festival. I eventually registered for my advisor's Shakespeare literature class, and shout out to Mr. Mack for how much he taught me. There are so many different things I ended up learning from my teacher, but if I had to categorize them, there would be 2 different lessons regarding why Shakespeare should be taught in high school. 1, critical analysis skills, and 2, the understanding of language complexity, and a third one that I'll get to in time. To start off, what do I mean by using critical analysis skills? According to Somi Shin in her paper regarding enhancing critical analysis skills in writing, she explains that critical analysis refers to examining the existing literature in order to identify themes and gaps. Essentially, having critical analysis skills gives students engaging with literature the ability to process its information, its context, and its themes in order to develop a deeper and more nuanced understanding of the literature. My current professor, Dr. Eric Kramer, explained during class one day that if you're not critically thinking, then you're not truly thinking at all. In high school, my teacher, Mr. Mack, put emphasis on not just understanding Shakespeare's plays, but also engaging with them. That is essential to learning Shakespeare. Not just reading the story for a grade, but trying to understand the different ways Shakespeare's plays impact and reflect our modern world. The final essays we wrote in that class ranged from exploring advantages and restrictions regarding societal roles all the way to discussing the way a mistaken identity can impact a relationship. We used different theories, such as critical race theory and post-colonial theory, to get a better understanding of the modern applicability of Shakespeare. Using the critical analysis skills I had developed over the year, I wrote about what effect past writings have on different aspects of society. Was the portrayal of black characters written by Shakespeare a result of an already formed race bias, or did Shakespeare's writings play a role in shaping societal views of minorities? What makes Shakespeare's plays so high quality and necessary to study is its complexity of plot that forces students to grapple with different themes from their own perspectives through their developing critical analysis skills. The next important lesson I learned from studying Shakespeare in high school was language complexity. But before I get into that, I want to introduce you to the game show called Shakespearean Insults. During the Shakespeare Festival, essentially, we would have different parts of the auditoriums yell insults to each other. I sadly don't have any footage of this, so here are those same early modern insults being said by college students to each other. Have you ever studied Shakespeare before?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
Thou impertinent swag belly flax wench.
And what do you think that meant?
You're a whore?
You're Logan, have you ever studied Shakespeare before?
I dabble.
You dabble? Okay, go for it.
Thou mewling, ill-breeding clackdish.
And what does that mean?
Oh, you are prostituting, which means you're selling your body for sex. And then ill-breeding means you create little fish devil babies. And then clackdish means chode.
A tottering full-born devilmon.
What's a devilmon?
A devil. I don't know.
A what?
Devil.
Well, yeah.
You're
recording us?
Wait, is this like if you're born out of wedlock?
Ooh. Yeah.
You're born out of wedlock.
You're like
devil. It's a sin. Thank you.
As you saw, these insults seem to be a slew of different words thrown together. When I began studying Shakespeare, I had a really hard time processing just exactly what characters were saying. As Adriana Galavan explains in her paper titled Neuroplasticity of Development and Learning, thinking and learning change both the brain's physical structure and functional organization. That is why learning something new is so difficult and challenging. Your brain is physically altering itself. A lot of people get discouraged from learning Shakespeare because of its difficult and unfamiliar language.
Get out. Sir, if there's anything I can bring...
So why would you go through the trouble of learning Old English when it's just as easy to see a word-by-word translation from lit charts or spark notes? It's because learning a different era of language allows a better understanding of language complexity. The process of learning Shakespeare taught me how to properly analyze and get the most from any given piece of literature. When studying Shakespeare's plays, my teacher had provided us with our own personal copy of the play from the Folger Shakespeare Library. This act of physically working on the text and annotating almost every other word for its meaning helped me develop the greater understanding of Shakespeare's work. This skill of purposeful annotation that I developed from studying the language complexity of Shakespeare followed me throughout my entire educational journey. When reading the Federalist Papers from my AP US Government and Politics class, I found that my purposeful annotation skills came into effect. I was able to work through and understand what the papers were actually talking about rather than just reading a summary from a Quizlet and not truly comprehending what was required for my exam. I ended up getting a 5 on that exam, and I have to thank my Shakespeare class for that. The ability to understand language complexity is essential when looking at both past and modern literature. It allows someone to truly understand the purpose, the meaning, and the intent of the chosen language. The critical analysis skills and understanding language complexity abilities you get from studying Shakespeare follow and assist students throughout their entire educational journey. Even now in college, I find myself able to grasp assigned readings and information much easier because of the skills that learning Shakespeare has helped me develop. But studying Shakespeare isn't just about these fancy-sounding lessons. This is that third point I was talking about earlier. Learning Shakespeare can be an amazing experience in which someone can gain such skills when taught correctly. Shakespeare is meant to be acted and said out loud, not just read. In my first Shakespeare class, my teacher had us stand on tables and recreate this dramatic opening scene from The Tempest. This allowed us to truly understand what was happening during the play. During the Shakespeare Festival at my high school, people are able to put their own twist on scenes and breathe their own personality into a play. Take, for example, Romeo and Juliet. Here are two of my favorite clips of people in the Shakespeare Festival adding their own special touch to one of the most tragic and well-known love stories.
Oh, Romeo, I love you! Oh, Juliet! My love! My wife!
This is the beauty of Shakespeare. Different perspectives on a play can create new meanings. That's why his plays became and remain so popular. People went to the theater to experience the magic of Shakespeare's plays. Keeping the performing arts alive through teaching allows that magic to continually be experienced while also helping students on their academic journey. Perhaps a quote from The Tempest, the very first Shakespeare play I read, summarizes why I believe it is so important to continue teaching Shakespeare in high school. What's past is prologue. It is the effort we put into our past that will help us on our future journeys.